Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, earlier this morning, to be exact, Kuro Games has gone ahead and delivered some of the greatest, as well as some of the worst news in Wuthering Waves history. Because I think it's kind of obvious from the announcement over here what their plans are leading up to the Cyberpunk Collaborations release. So before I share my thoughts, let's just go ahead and take a look at this announcement post over here so we can get the full details. All right, Wuthering Waves version 3.4's preview special broadcast is scheduled to air on May 29th, 2026. If you don't know how calendars and dates work, this is actually in about 4 days, less than 5. So very, very, very soon. Then they got the links for the live stream over here. You can watch it live, blah, 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 and then you can follow for a chance to win. And you can see over here from the branding and all the stuff that they decided to put into this broadcast. Oh, good golly gee, they basically gone all in when it comes to like the Cyberpunk, the 2077 aesthetic, and of course, weaving in that Edgerunners 2077. It's the same thing, right? Same city, same vibe, all of that, right? I can't even tell what game this is from. If you told me this was from 2077, I'd agree with you, right? If you told me that this was from Wuthering Waves, I'd agree with you. This just kind of shows you the level of like visual fidelity, all of that they're deciding to put into this collaboration. And if it wasn't like, I guess, like obvious enough from, you know, all the visual work, the little previews that we got of like Night City and all of that throughout here, and then just seeing how, I don't know, how goddamn sick this entire thing is, you probably guessed that they'd be putting in the same amount of effort here. And with them deciding to, alongside that announcement, drop kind of like, not really drip marketing because they've kind of already done that, but I guess like more advertisements for Lucy and Rebecca. Let's just take a quick look at those. I couldn't wait for you to come and play the cupboard. I already feel like that's like going to like make somebody I feel like I need to have like emotional context for that one. I already know that one's like supposed to like hit someone in the feelings, right? Yeah, maybe after I watch Edgerunners season 1, I'll understand. I'll understand why people are crying in my chat right now. Yeah. I'm a LARPer right now for Edgerunners at the very least, but I can already tell people are gonna like this one. Now let's check out this. Also, gotta check out to see if that shit is copyrighted. I feel like it might be. Ooh, uh-oh. Now we got Rebecca's. Oh, she kinda going off. Oh, she blasting. All right, so as you can see, this isn't really like that much different from the reveals that we've already gotten over here, which were about like close to 3 fucking weeks ago. And so with the news of the live stream being in just 4 days, as well as this sort of like, I guess, upgraded drip over here, the song is very nice. I think one thing is clear. Kuro is keeping the gameplay, the leaks, the reveals, the animations, the VFX, the sound effects, all of that for these 2 units, as well as, I do believe, where is she over here? Yeah, the forgotten one, Lucilla. I do believe they're keeping them all under wraps until the live stream actually occurs. Because yes, there is potential, right, that, you know, in the evening, at some point, Kuro Games is going to go ahead and like drop the gameplay for all 3 of those characters. But does that really make that much sense, knowing that the live stream is in just 4 days? Maybe if they had done it like a week ago, I would understand, but realize it's been 3 weeks since this drop. We've gotten no news since, and now it's a live stream. I don't really think we can expect gameplay now. And a lot of people are probably going to be upset by that, right? Because all we need to really think about is some of the past releases that we've had. Denya and Hiyuki, for example, were just like anniversary units. Some could say that anniversary units are like more popular than like the collab units. I don't think these units were announced a whole year in advance, right? Like the Edgerunners ones. So I feel like the collab ones in particular are like more popular at a baseline. And for us to have gotten like leaked gameplay of Hiyuki and Denya, and for us to not get leaked gameplay for Rebecca, Lucy, Lucilla, all of those characters, I can see why people are frustrated. But this is kind of the reality of what's going on here when it comes to something called scheduling and the passage of time. As you probably noticed, the announcement for this live stream occurred really early on in the patch cycle. It's actually only been, I think, like 4 or 5 days, maybe 6, since Denya got released. I think it's actually closer to 5 days since Denya got released. And we've already gotten news of the next version's live stream when like her banner only has like 13 days left. The other thing is that Denya's banner is like 3 or 4 days shorter than what it typically would be, because this patch is like 3 to 4 days shorter than most would be, the anniversary patch. And that's likely to be, that's likely for like scheduling purposes to make room for the collaboration and stuff like that. And of course, weave in the marketing too. Because one thing that we saw, right, was that the gameplay leaks were out there for like Lucy, Rebecca, Lucilla, all these different units, right? Like the cat's out of the bag on that one. But those leaks came out right as Kuro was getting ready to launch this character, as they were doing things like dropping her kit, dropping her Resonator showcase, her combat showcase, then her regular showcase, right, where we get to see a little bit of her story. That's while those leaks for the collab were coming out. And so obviously they gotta make time for her banner to actually like have some time to, I don't know, sell, for people to be able to experience her kit, her story, and then make the decision of whether or not they're going to pull her. And then they can get into the Cyberpunk collab stuff. And when it hasn't even been a whole week, all right, since Denya has been on banner, they're already doing quite a bit of damage to her potential sales and to her potential revenue by just announcing the live stream with all the Cyberpunk branding, and then of course the drip marketing for these characters like this. But imagine how much more cannibalization there would be had when it comes to her sales if they also released the gameplay too. Might as well just allow her to get until the end of the week before we decide to basically grief her banner like crazy. Though it is arguable that most people have probably made the decision of whether or not they're skipping her by now, a couple of days in. But I think one thing is very clear regarding all of this. Kuro likely has a shit ton of confidence when it comes to what they have prepared, what they're going to be revealing during the live stream, because they're not really even bothering to get like a public point of view on what the kits are looking like. Think about some of the more, I guess, like hyped up releases that we've had in the past. Obviously, Denya and Hiyuki fall under the umbrella, but some of the other gameplay kits that we've had revealed before were obviously Ibith. Everyone was over the moon when it comes to her. We also had Yuno and Augusta revealed. Same with Lene and Mornier, as well as, of course, like Cardathea. And I think that was like kind of like, yeah, Cardathea. And then I think the last few were like Carlotta and like Rosia way back in 2.0. So to me, I think this just shows that these developers have already gone ahead. You've seen the close collaboration that they've been in when it comes to their work with CD Projekt Red. They have like the lead writer for Edgerunners working on the story, and I'm 99% sure, right, they're also working with like their art director, all of that, maybe like their actual action director too, to like design the character kits and all of that. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if it's one of the most like faithful representations we've ever had when it comes to those character kits actually making their way in game. I don't think Rosia gameplay was previewed. Your memory is bad. They did IGN did Carlotta and Rosia. They did an exploration quest before 2.0 release. Yeah. Go fact check me and get proven wrong, bucko. All right. So, yeah, like I mentioned before, the gameplay reveals happen quite often, and it's usually before like a very big version in the game. Think like 2.4, 2.6, 2.0, 3.1, all of that. And I think obviously 3.4 is going to be huge too. But perhaps these guys have already gotten sign-off from CD Projekt Red, and that's why they're just going full steam ahead on. And I think this is kind of like the biggest admission from Kuro's end. Why would they decide to accelerate their timeline, right? Introduce more stress, more possible variables, right? That could make the patch go badly. Why would they decide before the release of one of the biggest collabs in gacha history to shorten the patch, give yourself less time to prepare, less time to like fix things, less time to iron things out before deploying one of your biggest patches ever? This probably would just lead you all to assume that everything's like good to go, everything is like ironed out, everything's buttoned down, and it's looking fantastic. And this is also the last thing that I'm gonna leave you all with over here. We all know that Kuro Games is making a bit of an entrance at a gaming event that occurs during the summer that is led by none other than good old, you probably guessed it, good old Jeff Keighley. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Summer Games Fest over here. Join Jeff Keighley and Lucy James. I don't know who Lucy James is, but all I know is my boy Jeff. Yes, we're going to be joining High Guard Guy. I love Wuthering Waves. And Kuro Games is going to be featured on June 5th, 2026. And one thing that's obvious, right, is that this patch is going to run over June 6th. However, Summer Games Fest is probably going to be the last thing that, or the last little bit of woo-wah that we get until version 3.4 and the Cyberpunk collab. And what do you think Kuro's going to end up showing over here, knowing that it's after the live stream? It could just be all the same exact stuff, or maybe they've got something lined up together. A nice little 1-2 combo, right? Kuro's going to give the outro skill to Jeff Keighley, and then Jeff Keighley's going to drop, I don't know, like an Exostrider or something during the presentation. You get the live stream, and then just 5-6 days afterwards, you get Summer Games Fest, and then whatever Kuro's going to be revealing over here. It could just be a straight regurgitation, but you've also got to think about it this way. If it's just a straight regurgitation of what's in 3.4, then boy, oh boy, whatever is in this fucking live stream better be crazy, because this is Woo-Wah's opportunity. One of their only opportunities in a while, right? To truly access like the mainstream audience. Because once you delve into like Cyberpunk, Witcher, CD Projekt Red, all of that, you're in mainstream gaming. And so now we're gonna have this gacha with an incredible mainstream game collaboration taking center stage at one of the most mainstream gaming events ever. They probably got something disgustingly good cooked up as well. Let's be real here, ladies and gentlemen. So I think the actions of Kuro, they've got a plan here. Keep the hype bottled up. Don't necessarily drop everything at once, kind of like what we had in some of the previous reveals, some of the previous leaks, because they already know at a baseline. They don't really need to build up hype anymore. This is one of the most highly viewed sort of like teasers ever. It's one of the most highly viewed woo-wah videos ever. This thing has like millions of views on Twitter, thousands of likes, way more than what you're actually seeing over here. The engagement surrounding these two, their story, their entrance into Lahai Roy, all of that, it's absolutely fucking nuts. And so even with no gameplay, even with no leaks, guys, it's only like 5 days left, and we already know this is going to be fucking wild. So yeah, it's gonna take a minute or two. The wait is going to be annoying, but think about it this way as well. After this live stream, we're going to be getting overviews of like what their kits look like, what their weapons look like, what they're going to be doing on the battlefield. And then from there, right? It's probably going to be some of the best times in Wuthering Waves history, if we're going to be honest. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I hope you all are looking forward to it as well. And I will be seeing all of you on the 29th. And don't be surprised. Maybe I'll get proven wrong and Kuro will decide to like just take a shit on my front lawn and just launch the leaks tonight or tomorrow. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's all just going to drop on the 29th. And hopefully I'll see all of you there as well. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.